Sawadee Kap, Sawadee Don Chow. Good morning, everybody. I got myself an old-fashioned. I don't know what that means. In fact, I should look that up because I don't know what it is and I'm drinking it. An old-fashioned bourbon, creme de cacao, water, espresso, simple syrup, and bitters. I don't think that's what this is. No, I don't think that's what it is. Coffee, old-fashioned. Whiskey, sugar, bitters. Kun cup. Kun cup. อันนี้มี whiskey ไหม ไม่มีเหล้าใช่ไหม Okay. I didn't think there was, but it's everything without the liquor. But it's pretty good. Anyway, good morning. How y'all doing? Today is 2 for 1 at Pacamara, which Starbucks has that sometimes, but you know, I think Starbucks has fallen out of favor with a lot of people, including myself. All right, so today we're going to talk about 50 million tourists in Thailand, and there's a reason why I want to talk about it, and that is probably within the next 10 years or so, there is a 60 to 70% chance that Thailand, the number of tourists in Thailand will reach 50 million. Okay, so that means a lot of things. There's some good, there's some bad. Yeah, this is really good. I think it's just orange and coffee and I don't know what else. Maybe some syrup. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that, but I have a couple of little things that I want to talk about real quick. You know, I don't follow the Olympics, but I have followed the Thais, well, a couple of Thais, and the Thai girl who was boxing the Algerian who is supposedly intergender or whatever, Iman Khalif, supposedly has XY chromosomes. The International Boxing Association said that she has the chromosomes of a male. The IOC, the International Olympic Committee, says no, she doesn't. So I don't know what's what, but what's what is that she beat the Thai by unanimous decision, so she's going to the gold medal round. The Thai gets a bronze medal, and then the other Thai, I didn't even know about this. Let's see if I can find it here. Yeah, I just remember seeing the name, and that's about it. But Kunlavut is a badminton player. Kunlavut Wittisan, a male badminton player, won the silver medal for Thailand. So Thailand's all excited now. You know, he made history by winning the first Olympic medal for the Thai national badminton team, and it's the first medal for Thailand at the Paris Olympics in 2024. So all the Thai fans are rejoicing. Good for him. Great. Okay? I'm not rejoicing simply because I don't want to watch the Olympics. Good morning. Good morning, Andy. How you doing? Bali's on the schedule, huh? Sawadee Cup to everybody. All right, so that's that. The Olympic nonsense. I know it's not nonsense for the athletes, but the way that they're presenting the Olympics is, to me, it's unacceptable. Oh, okay. So also, apparently there's been backlash over the the recent Apple ad that was released in Thailand. There's a kid. I mean, I say a kid. I don't know. Does it say how old he is? Doesn't really even say here. Yeah, I don't see the age. He looks pretty young. He looks 20, something like that. Let me see here. But he's complaining that the ad was not that bad, and the Thais had Apple pull it. Okay, so here's his Facebook. Let me see here if it says how old he is. He's got a TikTok. I don't know exactly what he does or what's going on with this kid, but he looks young. He looks pretty young. Now, this is not the same one, so, all right, whatever. I don't know how old the kid is, but he looks young. And so he's complaining. It says, an American English teacher is upset by Thailand's backlash over the Apple ad criticism. And apparently the ad was the Underdogs 000 for Out of Office, which was filmed in Thailand. He gave an interview to CNN and he reiterated his opinion that the Apple commercial portrayed Thailand in a negative, outdated light that did not reflect reality. Wait a minute. Initially, he received a lot of praise. However, the ad later became a political issue. What he's upset by the backlash. Okay, I don't understand why he's upset when he's against the ad. He said that the Thai production team had missed important opportunities. They previously had been hailed as the greatest in Southeast Asia. Now that the movie is gone, the hard work of the great team remains without visible results. He sarcastically asked if the foreigner with the Thai heart would understand the gravity of his loss. Now, he says he considers himself a Thai. Listen, if you weren't born in Thailand or you weren't born to Thai parents, you're not a Thai. That's just the way it is. I'm not a Thai. I will never be Thai. I could live here for 80 years. I will not be Thai. I was born in America. I'm an American. Simple as that. He was accused of being a foreigner with a Thai heart who was only out for personal gain through likes, views, and followers. Well, that doesn't make you any money, at least at first. With no real goodwill towards Thailand. Some said he was even making fun of gullible Thais who believed him. Because he put up some photo that says, what does Apple make our country, why does Apple make our country look so bad? He says he is Thai and does not identify as American. Listen, I'm going to go on record right here. I don't care if you do identify as a Thai. You're American. You're born in America, you're an American. Simple as that, all right? This is nonsense. I don't know about the ad. I haven't seen the ad. My question today is, what do I have to do for the Thai people to accept me? What do I have to do for the Thai people to see me as equal? You never will be equal, and you will never be accepted 100% by all of them. You have to realize that. Just because I look different, does that mean I can't be Thai? Well, okay, I understand that. This has really shaken my self-confidence and hurt my feelings. Oh my God, this guy's got to be, what do you call it? What is it, a Gen Z? I want to tell Thai viewers that I'm serious about this content. I stood up for the Thai people on CNN because I thought it would make them love me and accept me as one of their own. I apologize to anyone who was offended. All right. This guy doesn't deserve any credit, anything from these people, okay? And this is the thing, if I say something in favor of Thailand, and I have come out and said things in favor of Thailand many, many times, but I don't know if you guys know this. Hang on a second here. I want to see something. I came out several years ago. You just can't imagine what happens when you say anything pro-Thai or anti-Thai. Hang on one second. Okay, here he is. Oh, 1.4 million subscribers. Oh no, that's not him. Let me see this here. Okay, apparently he speaks good Thai. He's been here. Oh, I remember this kid. I've seen him before. He does everything on his channel in Thai, which, you know, I think that's great. He's got 1.46 million subscribers because he does everything in Thai. But he's only got, what? Oh, he's got a lot of videos. Okay, all right. So, you know, I don't know what's his deal, but, you know, to me, he's got almost 1.5 million subscribers. What are you worried about? Why are you worried that the Thais don't think of you as a Thai? You're not a Thai. As simple as that. You are not a Thai. You will never be Thai. I mean, what else do you need to know? All right. That's enough about this. I mean, you know, I'm glad he can speak Thai, do everything in Thai. He caters to the Thais, which, you know, he's got 1.46 million. Listen, the Thai ads don't earn that much. So I don't know if he's earning any money or what's going on. I don't know what's happening. Who knows? But I don't know what his agenda is or if he has one. But to go out there and say, you know, I thought they would like me and view me as an equal. I'm not an equal. I'm an American, you're a Thai. It doesn't mean you're better, I'm better. It doesn't mean anything. This is just how we are. I've been here 30 years. Nobody says to me, I mean, I get the thing, you know, from Thais every once in a while, oh, you are Thai people now. You have a wife, you have kids. You know, you are Thai people now. I get that all the time. I go, yeah, okay. But the reality is, I'm not. I will never be Thai. I mean, I think Thai sometimes. I feel Thai sometimes. That doesn't mean I'm Thai. On my second coffee this morning, looking at what to do the last day in Yogyakarta. If he was Thai, he wouldn't have all those subs. They watch him because he's a, I can't see, Farang, that speaks Thai and strokes their ego. True. You know, I mean, I think what it is because he's speaking in Thai, because he's doing everything in their language, they view him as an anomaly, and they like that. They like people who are pro Thailand. I mean, that's just the way it is. Now, God, I don't want to say anything. Let me see something here. Expat lifestyle. You know that when you say the word falang, that is a sloppy way that Thais say foreigner. That is not the way that it's written, and that's not the way in proper Thai that you say it. That's just their slang. That's just them being sloppy. That's exactly what it is. Just so you know, if you don't know that. Okay. All right, let me go on here because I'm getting carried away here, like always. I wanted to say something about the dollar to the Thai baht, because it's very multicultural. My Thai wife is also an Australian citizen. Yeah, well, Thailand doesn't let people become citizens all that easy. And as I've said, if I have a job where I am full on paying the taxes. Now here, this is another thing. When I go to renew my visa, they say you need a tax ID number. They give me a tax ID number. I'm paying taxes. Does that mean I'll be able to become a citizen now because I'm paying taxes? It should. Because that's what they want from you. They want you to work for a company and pay tax into the Thai system. That is one of the criteria to become a citizen in Thailand. And I want to become a citizen, so just so I have a second citizenship. It's not that I really want to become Thai or anything like that. I mean, you know, okay, great. I think I should already because I've been here a long time. I speak the language, I read the language. You know, I mean, I should be able to do it. This girl can't figure out how to, why don't you just, oh God, that's funny. Everybody doesn't know how to come in here if they're outside. If they're from outside, they know how to come in. But if they're in the mall, they're like, how do I get in here? And all they have to do is move the little thing and they can come in. All right, let me go on here. I'm sorry. Oh, anyway, so yeah, so what is the Thai baht? What did I say? 35.54. All right, so remember that. Remember that yesterday I think it was 35.28. The air quality is 58, which is moderate. It's not bad. It's not terrible. Temperature's 83, high at 92, a low of 78, and the feel-like temperature's 88. Humidity is 78%, and there is a severe weather alert. Heavy rain all this week. And I don't know why it says this, but I just was reading it because I never read it. I just see that there's a weather alert, heavy rain. And it says significant threat to life or property, which I find interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't like the whole open borders thing in America, but you know, as I said, I live here. I don't worry about over there. I don't want to worry about it. Probably the most that will ever happen is I will go there part-time for a month, a couple of months, and that's it. Hello, Dale. Yes, I know. I don't know. I thought, why not? What am I doing that's gonna... Today I was thinking I don't really have that much to do. So why not? And I was thinking about this subject. I've been thinking about it for a while, this 50 million tourists, because that seems to be the magic number. So anyway, let me go on here. Okay, so now the baht is under, the Thais are under pressure because the baht faces some volatility with the U.S. under pressure to cut its rates. Baht is expected to experience higher volatility and a weaker trend this week, pressured by uncertainties surrounding the U.S. dollar and the Federal Reserve's monetary policy direction. Bank of Ayutthaya Krungsri forecast the baht to move in range of the 35.75 baht per dollar, and I'm hoping it'll hit 36. I hope it gets above 36. That's just what my standard is in my head. If it's 36, then, you know, it just makes it easy. You calculate 36. I mean, even if it's 35.75, I'll calculate 36. But then I know, oh, it's a little bit under. You know, sometimes it's a little under, it's a little over. Good morning, Jim. The key factors influencing the baht's movement are the depreciation and volatility of the dollar, which are driven by updated U.S. economic data and the monetary policy direction of the U.S. Federal Reserve. Now, soon, the COLA will be determined, which is for Social Security. And I'm hoping it'll bump up things about 3%, but I think it's only supposed to be like somewhere around 2.5 to 2.7%. On Tuesday, the baht opened at 35.51 per dollar, weakening from 35.26. The baht on Monday, the baht appreciated significantly compared with the greenback because of the weaker dollar following reports of higher inflation and unemployment rates in July, raising concerns about a potential U.S. economic recession. Jesus. All right, so let's just say that there's a chance that the dollar is going to gain against the baht, and I would hope so, at least a little. If a U.S. recession occurs and affects Thailand's manufacturing and exports, we may have to lower the Thai GDP growth projection for this year because the current we may have to lower the Thai GDP growth projection for this year below the current forecast of 2.3%. All right, enough of that. What did I say about this? What is this? So this is the English teacher guy. I don't want to see him anymore. Let me just close that window. One thing, let me see here. Let me talk about this. Two Pattaya motorbike taxi groups face legal penalties following assault on foreign tourists and their fight with Bolt drivers. This is ridiculous. Really, something has to be done. I don't mean just Pattaya, I mean everywhere. Now, I know some people don't really have a problem. Maybe they're driving in Pattaya. Maybe they just take the bus and they're smart enough not to sit all the way on the end and then risk falling off or something like that, you know. But something has to be done about this. 3 measures are emphasized to punish these motorbike taxi drivers with bad behaviors. The first measure is that for the first offense, the driver will be arrested or fined or have his or her points deducted. Okay, for something that's violent, I don't think that's enough. For the second offense, the driver's public motorbike taxi license will be suspended for 30 days. And for the third offense, the driver will potentially be removed from the list of legally approved motorbike taxis, where the respective motorbike stand will face suspension of services for 15 to 30 days, depending on the severity of the incident. You see, to me, if it's a violent incident, this is not nearly enough. That's just my opinion. Despite these measures, issues continue to arise, Pattaya officials said. For example, motorbike drivers from 2 stands, one in front of a shopping mall in Pattaya Second Road and another near a major hotel, had a fight with Russian tourists. Officials also received another complaint accusing the 2 groups of harassing and threatening app-based drivers. Unacceptable. They have investigated and arrested 10 drivers at these 2 stands for operating vehicles not registered for public use. Okay, but they didn't do anything because they threatened these people. That is a violent act to say, I'm going to cut you, I'm going to stab you, I'm going to shoot you if you pick up any passengers. Boom, you're arrested, you go to jail for 2 years. Maybe you learn your lesson. That's not how it operates here. That's not how it works. I mean, you know. Let me see here. I think there's one more thing here. It's not just Pattaya. It's Phuket. It's Koh Tao. It's many other areas. You know, what I find kind of humorous is if you go to, like, Kanchanaburi, you don't have a lot of these problems. You don't have violence. I've never really heard about the violence. I think somebody's been killed there, but other than that, and that's like, you know, in the time that I've been here, other than that, I don't hear about a lot of violence in that area, and I think, you know, that area is very affluent. But Pattaya's affluent also. So I don't understand it. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I didn't hear what's going on in the UK. I heard something about the police are running after protesters that are British, and that they are just trying to get the British government to side with them and not people who are illegal immigrants, and that they're being run off and being arrested, and the illegal immigrants, the cops are running from them. That's what I've heard. I don't know the whole story, and, you know, I really don't know that much about it. Pattaya's ridiculous boat rides 25 baht. Motorbike taxis asking 80 to 100. They price themselves out of the market. Yeah, I mean, this is the whole reason why there's Bolt, why there's InDriver. These dummies don't understand it. We're going to charge them 100 baht because that's fair. No, it's not fair. You can't arbitrarily charge people money for whatever you want. You can't just go, and they started doing that. I've said it before. They've done it. I don't want to say coffee because coffee is a commodity. So the price of coffee goes up, and it's all around the world, and the price goes up, so people are going to have to pay more money. But you can't do it like, I mean, I've seen haircuts. I mean, a couple of years ago, it was 50 baht, 70 baht. Now, it's almost never 100 baht. It's 100, 120. And if you go down on Sukhumvit, it goes all the way up to 1,000 baht for a freaking haircut here. And the thing is that it's not that I'm complaining about an expensive salon charging 700 baht, 800 baht, 1,000 baht. That's not what I'm complaining about. I'm complaining about places that I go into the Happy Land, which is I would say it's a lower middle class, maybe even low class kind of a shopping center. I mean, they have stuff for 29 baht there. You want to buy some clothes for 29 baht, 79 baht, you can buy them there. And, the barber's charging 150 baht just for a man to get his hair cut. And that's not what the price is. So they just arbitrarily said, oh, we're going to start raising the prices. And that's what they've done. Expat depends on if you speak Thai. Well, I speak Thai. So, I don't really have any problem when I have to deal with these people. But, they can't just arbitrarily raise their price. And I've been putting up the prices of the groceries. And some people go, oh, well, that's Western food. An egg is a Western food? No, it's not. Eggs are not Western food. Milk is not Western food. Thais drink milk, they eat cheese, they eat a lot of things. So, this is the thing. And I don't only eat Thai food. And I don't eat only Western food. My haircut is 100 baht. Well, so is mine. Because I make sure I go to a place where it's 100 baht. Well, Phuket is a higher end destination because the Europeans seem to go there, whereas like Pattaya, I think it's, Indians, Chinese, to a lesser extent British. And they still try to gouge me. It's like the more business they lose to Bolt, they want to make it up with higher price. Well, that's their way. Oh, we don't have customers, so we're going to raise the price now. That's what they do in bars. They've done that in bars for years. When I first came here, I was like, when they had the, what do you call it? When the baht was at like 55, I was here. And the bars, instead of charging, say, 60 baht for a drink, which is maybe what they used to charge, 60 or 80 baht, they're like, okay, 120 baht. It's like, you don't have any customers. What are you charging me 100 baht for? 120 baht? For some reason, I don't see your greetings. I had to refresh. 60 for haircut, shave here at the Ban Nok Barber Shop. Things are cheaper in the Ban Nok gym most of the time. Unless maybe it's groceries. Not so much with groceries. Although maybe vegetables, but I mean, I can go to the market and get cheap vegetables. I can go to the market and get, sometimes I get my eggs from the market, and I pay 50 baht for 10 big eggs. Or the other day I got eggs from here and I paid 65 baht. So, All right, so let me go on here. Okay, so supposedly they're going to do something about it. I don't see that happening. However, if you remember, there were Kuwaiti nationals involved in some violence with locals in Pattaya on Soyen Sabai. And now these Kuwaiti suspects will potentially be deported from Thailand after facing legal charges, which I don't think is a bad thing. I don't know what they're going to do to the Thais. I don't know how much who's at fault here or anything like that. It doesn't really say anything. What kind of article is this? This is in Pattaya News. Oh, they're going to pursue legal action against both Kuwaiti and Thai nationals responsible for the attack. Potential revocation of the Kuwaiti suspects' visas before pushing for their deportation. Okay, all right, whatever. I don't know anything about this, but just like I was saying yesterday, you really need to do something in Pattaya, to a lesser extent Chiang Mai, Phuket. There are quite a few places, but most of the time you don't hear about this kind of stuff. You don't. I mean, in Pattaya, you hear about it all the time. People jumping, people getting pushed, people fighting, people getting beat up. You hear about it all the time. Once in a while, you hear about some foreigner getting his ass kicked on the Sky Train or something like that because he lips off to somebody and he doesn't expect that he's just going to get punched. To me, I always expect I'm going to get punched if I say something back. But that's why I try to speak properly and politely. I don't want to get punched. I don't want to have to dodge a punch. I don't want to have to watch out for a kick or something. I don't want to have to be bobbing and weaving every time I go out, But I expect that. So far I've been lucky. In 30 years I've been lucky. 10 guys haven't jumped me, and I feel good about that. All right, one more thing. I guess Mrs. Harris in America, that's about all I want to call her. Mrs. Harris has named her running mate. I thought she already did. It's some guy, the Minnesota governor, Tim Walz. And I just look at the guy and I go, no. No. No, I don't care. I don't care what his policies are. He just doesn't look the part to me. And he used to be a school teacher at in the National Guard. But you know what? I don't think she has a chance in hell of winning. But that's about all I'm gonna say. I don't want to say anything more about it. That's all I got to say. We're going to get to the 50 million now. Let's see here. Pork, chicken, vegetables cheap here. Yes, I know you can get eggs for cheap. If you want to buy 30 or 50 eggs, something like that, you can get them pretty cheap. Even here, you can get them cheap. If I wanted to get eggs in the down the way there, I would just talk to the lady and go, give me a deal on this. She'd be like, okay, blah blah blah. Here you go. Here's your deal. I wonder if excessive alcohol consumption is somewhat a contributor to the madness. I would think so, because you're in an area where there are bars everywhere. That means there's going to be a higher incident of people being drunk. When people get drunk, they get shitty. Some people get happy. Some people, they get shitty. And they start doing shitty things, and they start treating people like shit. I never was like that. I was never an angry drunk. Thank you. I was always, kind of like, don't mess with me, man. Just, leave me alone. Let me go home. And so I'm grateful for that. So I never got myself, I've been drunk many, many times in my life, but I never had anything really bad happen to me because I was never like that. And unfortunately, some people, it's how do you make an asshole? You just add alcohol. Prices seem fairly cheap, I guess, for me. Not sure if locals think that here in Indonesia. He's a socialist. Camel Toe Harris. No. Andrew Travel, it's the same in Thailand. Locals say 50 baht a meal isn't cheap. Well, 50 baht a meal is not cheap when it used to be 15 baht. I was here when it was 15 baht. You get a chicken fried rice with an egg for 20 baht. Now, you're not going to get that. So there's inflation everywhere. That's just how it goes. And, I don't like it, but, you're never going to stop it. I mean, if you look at the price of something in 1979 and then you look at the price of something now, it's like quadruple. Yeah, but Las Vegas is huge. Pattaya is nowhere near as big. So if you scale it up, it makes sense. And there's a lot of people, they think they got big money, they're going there to win, and they're drunk, and they get drunker than they expect, and then the next thing you know, you got 4 big guys named Bubba beating the piss out of them. Anyway, all right, let's get to this 50 million thing here. So, let me see here. How 50 million tourists will change Thailand. Now, I'm going to go over the 14 reasons and the 14 ways that having 50 million tourists will change Thailand. I'm just going to go over it real quick, and then I'll go back and get into the specifics. Number 1, overcrowding in popular tourist destinations. Number 2, strain on infrastructure and public services. Number 3, increase in traffic congestion and pollution. Number 4, higher demand for accommodation leading to possible price hikes. Number 5, boost the local economy through increased spending. Number 6, potential strain on natural resources and environmental degradation. I think that's a big one. Number 7, increased job opportunities in the tourism and service sectors. Number 8, greater cultural exchange and diversity. Okay. You know what? I hate that word. I just hate that word. I don't like it. I don't think the Thais like it either. And I don't like it. And I don't think Americans really like it. I mean, it's great you integrate with people and you're not an asshole to people. I think that's great. But I don't think you should just integrate just for the sake of integrating like Disney, DEI. I don't think you should be doing that. Oh, you got your token black, your token Chinese, your token this, your token that. I just don't think you should do that because that's not real life. I mean, listen, you can say whatever you want about me, but the truth is that I got American friends, I got a few Thai friends, and I got a few British friends, and other than that, I don't really have any other friends. I've had a couple of black friends here. One of them was a Nigerian, and I didn't trust him, but he was like an acquaintance. I didn't trust him because he wouldn't let me know where he was from, and I knew he was Nigerian. And eventually, he had to leave Thailand because of some problem with immigration. So, when you have these kind of things going on, I was like, I'm going to keep him a little bit, I'm going to give him a bit of distance. He's not going to be getting any loans from me or anything like that. All right, let me see here. Number 9, possible rise in crime rates and scams targeting tourists. Number 10, need for enhanced security and safety measures. Number 11, potential over-commercialization of cultural sites and traditions. Number 12, increased pressure on public transportation systems, definitely. Number 13, potential displacement of local residents due to rising living costs. And number 14, greater international visibility and influence for Thailand. So those are the 14 ways that the 50 million tourists are going to change Thailand. There may be more, I don't know, but I'm going to get into these in a second here because there's some specifics, and some of them I think for sure would happen, and some of them I don't know. Some of them I think would be devastating to Thailand. But as I said earlier, now let me see here where it is here. Considering these factors, I would estimate the likelihood of Thailand reaching 50 million tourists within the next 10 years to be moderate to high, approximately 60 to 70%, contingent on continued recovery and growth in international travel, effective marketing and infrastructure development by Thailand. I think the infrastructure has grown significantly. I don't know about their marketing program. Sometimes, I mean, you know, marketing's hit or miss, but stable geopolitical and economic conditions globally. This is not guaranteed, and the odds are somewhat favorable if current positive trends continue and Thailand successfully addresses potential challenges. All right, let me read some of this stuff here. That's the Scott I remember with lovely small tantrums. Thank you, Krister. 50 million is too many and won't help the economy much. Well, I don't know that it won't help the economy much. I think the extra dollars would help, but I think the exchange might not be favorable. Thais are proud of their nationalism. Well, I mean, a lot of countries are proud of their nationalism, and in the United States, it's like you almost have to feel like, oh, I'm privileged because I'm an American. Oh, I shouldn't feel good about that. I'm proud to be an American. I don't care what anybody says. I don't have to live there. I'll always be American, and I'm proud of it. Why do I, when somebody asks me where I'm from, I don't go, oh, I'm Canadian. I don't ever do that. I don't shy away from it. If you don't like me because I'm American, okay, that's fine. I don't care. Do you want the best doctor for surgery or a DEI doctor? Yeah, I know what I want. Didn't Thailand peak at around 40 million just before COVID? So if it went to 50 million, I don't think they would worry about any improvements too much. It's Thailand, right? No, it's not. Oh, it's Thailand, right? No, it's not that it's Thailand. They would have to do quite a bit for that extra 10 million because 40 million was the highest that they have ever had. And the way they're going now, maybe they'll get 30 million, 35 million by the end of this year. So I do suspect in the next couple of years it's going to go up. But they're going to have to do some things. Listen, you go on the BTS, man, some of the BTS lines, you go on there, you got to wait for another train because it's jam-packed. So if you're waiting for another train because it's jam-packed and there's 35 million, when there's 50 million, people aren't stupid. They know how to use the public transportation system. They know how to, you know, get around. And people are now, more and more people are starting to use the boat, starting to use the SkyTrain, the subway, whatever it may be. And, you know, then, oh, I'm going to get a taxi. Oh, well, the taxis, you know, guess what? If you're not using a Grab or Bolt or InDriver, which tend to be a little bit more expensive sometimes, at least some of the time, then you're going to be getting another taxi, and then you're going to have all kinds of issues. You already got issues with the taxi drivers now. You know, 98% of them are good people, but the other 2% make it difficult for foreigners because they're just pissed off because they're a taxi driver, and, you know, and you're not. So they look at you as a rich foreigner, and they're like, why am I not like that? He's no better than I am. You know, that's how some of them think. All right, let me see. Marketing in Thailand should not be used in the same sentence. There is no correlation. Well, amazing Thailand was pretty good. Proud American also, but it's changed for the worse. Yes, it definitely has. Talking about tourist numbers is having a tourist surge, thousands coming in daily. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Really, you know, what's 50 million divided by 365? I mean, you know, what is it, 13,000 a day? Or is it 100? No, it's 13,000. I think it's 13,000. Anyway, let me continue. All right. First of all, overcrowding in popular tourist destinations. Major tourist spots like Bangkok, Phuket, Chiang Mai, and Pattaya, Kanchanaburi would experience significant overcrowding, making it difficult for tourists to enjoy the attractions and for locals to go about their daily lives. This could lead to long lines, crowded public spaces, and a general decrease in the quality of the visitor experience. I still remember going to Chiang Mai. This is a couple of years ago. It's probably 5 years ago. I went to Chiang Mai. I was walking around. I was taking pictures, and I went into this 3D art museum. And I get in there, and there is just a busload of Chinese in there. They're walking in front of me, and I'm like, getting ready to take a picture, and some guy will walk in front of me. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now imagine that you add 15 million, 20 million tourists. They are taxing them, right? All about the money, unless they scrap that idea. What? I don't know what that means. Taxing them. You're talking about the Americans or the Westerners in Thailand, foreigners in Thailand that have to pay tax, which is not going to happen. I'm not going to be paying tax. I'll work it out to where I don't have to pay, believe me. Okay, so yeah, you have to think about that. You have to think every single day at this time they turn this song on. What is the purpose of turning it on when nobody is here? There's nobody in the mall. They haven't opened yet. They're just trying to fire up the workers. Come on, let's go. They amp them all up. And at 10 o'clock exactly, there'll be people lined up against the doors, all in a line, so that when you walk in, you're doing a little walk, and they're all whying you. So the overcrowding is a huge thing to think about. Think about Maya Bay. Now, I know that's a small area, and it can't handle that many people. But imagine if you had 15 million more people. How many of those would want to go to Maya Bay? How many of those people would go to Koh Tao and bad things would happen? Oh, we don't want to damage the reputation of this island. Or you go to Pattaya, how many more people would be jumping from the apartments and condos? How many people would be pushed? How many more fights would there be? You think about it in that context. And then when you have people going places, and you want to be able to go, and you can put your arms out and not have anybody like bumping into you. Go to Chinatown. What's Chinatown going to be like if there's 15 million more people? How many of those people would go? Even if 150,000 went to Chinatown in a day, that's a huge number. That would make a difference. You would notice it. So, all right, strain on infrastructure and public services. Oh, by the way, do me a favor, leave me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, look down in the description. There's all kinds of stuff down there. There's my social media, there's my website, my books, Patreon, buy me a coffee. You can use super chats right here on YouTube. You can get something from my Amazon page. You can get some of my merch. It's shown right down below the window. You can use the CASHAPP, whatever you want. It's all there. Anyway, please hit the thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And keep coming back. All right, number 2, strain on infrastructure and public services. The influx of tourists would put an immense amount of pressure on existing infrastructure, including roads, airports. Think about airports. Think about the airports, and then the public transportation. Public services such as healthcare, which is huge. Waste management. Think about waste management. That's huge. They can barely handle the waste management now. I walk down the street, and it's a nice area, and you got a canal that's running through the area, and it's got shit and garbage and everything in there. And I'm like, this is not nice. There's a place a little ways from where my village is. It's just outside of the village and down a ways. That canal is filthy. Absolutely filthy. I mean, I'd be scared to fall in it. That's how bad it is. So they need to clean that up. That's now. What about if they have another 15, 20 million tourists come here? Water supply. So healthcare, waste management, water supply, all these things would be strained, potentially leading to reduced quality and availability for both locals and tourists. And then you got to think about the effect on the locals. The locals are going to start getting pissed off because now you got all these foreigners coming in, and I think it's already happened. You have all the foreigners coming in, and they're using the resources, and Thais are going, wait a minute, why is this such a hassle for me to do this? No, it's because of all the foreigners. Why are the prices going up? Oh, because the foreigners are here, we can charge you more money. You know. So that's something else. Strain on infrastructure and public services. Number 3, increase in traffic congestion and pollution. This means more tourists, which means more vehicles on the roads, contributing to traffic jams, which there's a lot of those already. Already there's traffic jams. Think about it. That's why they made the SkyTrain and the subway. And that's why they use the boat, because there's already traffic. I've already said, traffic and air pollution, not to mention noise pollution, not to mention garbage and other kind of ground pollution. All these things are in place right now with 30 to 35 million tourists coming in. If there's 50 million, how bad is it going to get? I mean, really. Hasn't the infrastructure increased considerably compared to previous COVID? That would be a push. Well, what do you mean the infrastructure increased? It's gotten better. It has gotten better. And that's great. But that's at the rate of that the tourism is right now. Will it get better? Will it get good enough to handle the extra tourists? I don't know. And honestly, I think Thais are going to be playing catch up. I mean, listen, they've done a great job with the infrastructure. You can't really say anything bad about that. But they're playing catch up with the infrastructure. Think about it. Think about the traffic in Bangkok right now. And then think about the traffic in, say, 5 years when there's an extra 10 million, 15 million people who want to get around the country. That's going to make a difference. Let's see. Increased transportation also leads to higher emissions. That's bad. Exacerbating air pollution and potentially harming public health and the environment. How can you deny that? I understand that the public transportation has increased. It's gotten quite a bit better. They even have electric boats going from on the CASHAPP. Maybe eventually they'll. I don't think they will though. I don't think they're going to switch unless the electric boats can go faster, because the electric boat that goes from the temple down here, the Boom Ruden, I don't know what the name of it is. It's a pretty long name, but just 2 stops down is the temple, and you transfer over to the electric boat, and that line will take you way down. Actually, I think that takes you past where the house my wife looked at, Ramkhameng 174. It goes all the way to Minbury, but it takes an hour to get there. If you were on the diesel boat, it'd probably take about 30 minutes. Those extra 25 million will not be in the kingdom at the same time. They would spread out to the... Well, I understand that, Jim, but the tourists you have now are spread out over the year. And there's still a lot of problems. There's still a lot of traffic, a lot of pollution already right now. So I don't think that, it doesn't matter really that, oh, well, they're not going to be here at the same time. Of course they're not going to be here at the same time. The tourists now are not here at the same time. But what it's going to do is increase the daily number of tourists who come. So if you think about it, how can you say there won't be overcrowding in some of the tourist destinations? One of the reasons I don't like Pattaya as much as I could like it, I mean, I don't mind it. I go there sometimes and I'm there with a couple of cool guys, I'm hanging out, we're having a good time. Okay, great. But I'm there for a couple of days. That's it. That's the most I can handle. There's already a lot of people. But if you add a large number of people, it's going to get more crowded. You want to go to the Grand Palace, guess what? It's going to be more crowded. You're in Phuket, you want to go to the Big Buddha, there's going to be more people. And who knows if it can handle it. You go to Wat Trai Mit in Chinatown. If you go right now, there are a large number of tourists there. And that's why I've said, sometimes I want to go places and I'm trying to think, where should I go? How can I go? What can I do? And sometimes I just go, I don't want to go to that place. It's a tourist trap. Where did I go? I went to that one temple down by Saturn Pier. There's a temple there. And I went there and I was like, oh, it's a boat temple. It's like supposed to be made out of wood and all this other stuff. It's all freaking concrete. And the place was set up there for Vietnamese, Chinese, and other tourists from other places, like Indians, Chinese, Vietnamese. And I'm like, what am I doing here? This is a tourist trap. Now, that place was packed when I went. What's going to happen if there's 50% more tourists in the country? I mean, when I think about it, I think they need to do some work before they get to that point. Now, maybe they will. Who knows? Because, they're so gung-ho about tourism, even though, they've made it a point to say, we don't want tourism to be our what we make the majority of our money from. It's too bad. That's the way that it works here. And you know what? They'll have to milk that cow until they milk it dry. And that's going to be a while. All right. Number 4, higher demand for accommodations leading to possible price hikes. The surge in tourist numbers would drive up demands for hotels, guest house, and rental properties. This heightened demand could result in higher prices, making it more expensive for tourists to find lodging and potentially pricing out some travelers. Thailand's already on the verge of pricing some people out simply because, all right, Andy, you take it easy. Have fun in Bali. Simply, hang on a second here. They've already started to price themselves out. Thailand is not, if you think about it, Westerners. They don't care if Westerners come, Chinese come, Russians come, North Koreans come. They don't care. They just want the money. Which, that's good business. But Westerners are not coming here like they used to. There's not as many Westerners here as there used to be. There's not. This song bugs me. Wow, not that many people standing against the door now. There's only a few. I think if you look over to the left, There's a couple people over there. Okay, so now, the problem is the price of airfare. Airfare prices have gone up. I used to come over here, honestly, I got a $50 ticket to come to Thailand once, but that was as an air courier. I've had a couple of really cheap tickets as an air courier. I think the cheapest ticket, the regular ticket that I bought, which was, this is, 30 years ago, it was $565, something like that. And then usually I would pay around $700. Now it's a fair bit more expensive than that. And you really have to look. I mean, when we went to America, we stopped in a couple of places, and I think our tickets were like $1,700 each, something like that. But they weren't cheap. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna stop at this place because it's a hub and I'll get a better rate. That wasn't how it was. We've checked on the direct fares, and the price was not all that much less expensive. So I think that is what is keeping Westerners from coming here as much as they used to. The price of airfare, and also the price of accommodation has started to go up. And I think a lot more of the Europeans they're just staying in Europe. All right, so let's see here. So I don't think a lot of people want to pay more for their accommodation. I mean, it used to be here in Thailand. Listen, I've had rooms for $5, $10. They weren't anything special, and then I've had them for $15. And then, now it's like if I get something for $25, I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's cheap. Number 5, boost to the local economy through increased spending. Now, it would bring in more money. Tourists would spend money on accommodations, food, shopping, entertainment, and local attractions, providing a significant income boost. Local businesses, from street vendors to high-end restaurants, would benefit from the increased spending, leading to economic growth and development. And I asked my wife, so if we had 50 million tourists in Thailand, what do you think would happen? Oh, they make a lot more money. I said, I know, that's what you think of. You think about the money, but you don't think about the strain that it's putting on the infrastructure and the health care and all these other things. You have to think about that. So it's a trade-off. Which one do you want? They say they want more tourists. But do they really? When it comes down to it, they might find themselves behind the 8 ball. They may be like, all right, we got to get this taken care of right now. And it might be better that they do that. I don't know. It might be better for the country. The country might prosper in the long term. In the short term, it might be difficult for people. And also, now when you go to tourist areas, that's where most of the problems are between Thais and foreigners, because of the misunderstandings that happen. Some guy's drunk and he's, mouthing off, and he gets into a taxi and he's, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. And then the taxi driver's like, what? You say this to me? I kill you. That kind of stuff happens. It's not only about the money. Leading to economic growth and development. So hopefully they would put the money back into the country and back into the infrastructure, back into the hospitals, and it would all work out, and everybody be like, oh wow, Thailand's they really got their act together. I would hope that's how it is. I don't know. Are you in Indonesia? I know Indonesia is not the cheapest place to go in Southeast Asia. I do know that. You know, so for a family of 3, it might be 45,000 baht. It might be 36,000. Just depends. You know, which is a lot. When you want to go for a little vacation and you're in Indonesia, and then you go, oh, I got to pay for accommodation, I got to pay for food, I got to pay for transportation, I've got to pay for everything else. Then all of a sudden you go, this is $2,000 for, you know, a 4-day trip, 5-day trip. It's a lot of money. So I think them concentrating on like the Chinese and the Indians, that's very smart. Countries with the biggest number of people, highest populations in the world. Thank you, David. Thank you. Choke D to you. Good luck. Everybody click his little super chat there. Give him a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. Cool. All right, so let me see here where I'm at here. Boost to the economy, blah, blah, blah. All right, so I think it's a trade-off. The money you receive, what are you going to do with that money? You just going to, like, I mean, you know, if it's going into businesses, the businesses are going to put it right back into their business. They're going to keep it for themselves. They're going to prosper. Actually, Chinese visitors in Thailand fork out an average of $180 a day. However, they are starting to not come to Thailand as much as they used to. They're starting to go to other places. And the low-price tour groups are some of the greatest threats to Thailand's tourism industry. Yes. Because they want to put the money back into their tour group, not into Thailand. However, this year the Chinese spending is supposed to rise by up to 6.2 billion baht. And as many Chinese visit Thailand, less Western and Japanese tourists are coming to Thailand. But I don't know how that works, because even though there are more Chinese coming, I think there's less of them coming just to Thailand. Problem with Chinese tourists is they utilize Chinese-owned hotels. Yes. Well, and you know, the other thing is that China has a long history with Thailand. You cannot just forget about that. While the government may try to stay neutral, you know, it goes back 300 years where Chinese vendors would come to Thailand and they would just stay. Or they would go back and forth, or they would have people stay for them. And so there's a lot of Thai Chinese here. If you go to any of the pawn shops, they're all Thai Chinese. They're not just Thai. I don't think that train comes. The train doesn't go all the way through Laos into Thailand. You have to go all the way down to, what is it? You go from Nong Khai to Udon Thani, and then you take the train from there. And you know, listen, for all the people that says they don't like the Chinese, you know, most of the time, unless they are engaged in some activity that is just hideous, the people don't care, because what they care about here is money. That's what they're thinking of. Just give me the money. That's what they want. And so, if they want money, you let them have it. And eventually, maybe they'll get tired of it. I mean, look at the way that the bar scene has changed. If you look at the bar scene, it's no longer geared specifically towards Japanese or Koreans and foreigners. There are Russians, there are, Uzbekistanis, there are all kinds of, there's Chinese, Indians, Well, listen, I got a story. I was in Alaska, and I was in King Cove. I had to stop there for a week. So I was basically just chilling out in my room. I had a room to myself, and I was just chilling out, listening to music and, laying there in my underwear, freezing my balls off, but I had the heat on and everything. And then once in a while I would go out, I'd get some food or whatever. And I went into a place and they had a little club there. But I went in like in the afternoon and the club wasn't even open. But I got a meal. I was like, okay, cool. Got my meal. I go back. Oh no, when I was in there, I saw like a couple Filipino girls and a couple of Thai girls. I started talking to them. Now they were not good looking. Not at all. They were unattractive, in my opinion. A little overweight and, not so pleasing to the eyes. And I went back that night, and there were like 3 of the girls there. There was a couple of people around, it was mostly guys. And these girls were sitting there like they were princesses. They thought their shit didn't stink because all the guys, listen, they're in Alaska. There's not many women. The guys just want, let me stick it in. These guys were going after these girls, and I just went, oh my God. Because, I had just come from Thailand. And I'm going, no. Ooh, why are you going to do that? Why are you going to do that? I didn't spend much time in Anchorage. So, yeah, that was hideous, man. They were just kissing these girls' asses, and the girls were like, dancing away, and they just thought, oh my, I can have whatever guy I want. Ugh. Crazy, man. They just opened a railroad direct to Vientiane recently to switch to the line through Laos up to Kunming. Direct to Vientiane from where? All right, let me go on here, because I still have a few more and I want to get this done. Potential strain on natural resources and environmental degradation. You see it happening at Maya Bay. And, the number of tourists was minuscule compared to what they would be if there was 50 million. The high volume of tourists could lead to an overuse of natural resources such as water and energy. Popular natural sites like beaches and national parks might suffer from erosion, littering, and habitat destruction, threatening wildlife and natural beauty. Nobody thinks about the wildlife because you're going to encroach on their turf. You're going to encroach on their habitat. From Bangkok, 1 train a day. Oh, okay. Starting July 19th. Oh, I didn't know that. Let me see here. Yeah, nobody thinks about the wildlife. And, Thailand does have a significant, I guess you could call it significant, they have a tiger population that has been increasing slowly. They have to be very careful because it's very sensitive to, poachers and things like that. But also, it's sensitive because if they start building, then they do what Burma did, which is in Burma there was a huge number of tigers. And what they did was they started, and there was a corridor for the tigers to go from like Thailand to Burma, up to like Bangladesh and India and all in that area. They had a corridor of, there was no buildings so that people, that tigers could make their way and go wherever they wanted. And that's why the tiger numbers have increased. The guy who did that has died. He died from like leukemia. And I remember listening to his audio files called the Tiger Diaries. It was fascinating. I mean, you know, it was like 20 hours where he's talking about what he's doing to build that area. And I just think about it and I think, you know, the Burmese, they just totally went back on the word with the guy. They told him they could do this, he could do that. Oh, come here, yes, no problem. He did everything he was supposed to do, and they still shit on him. And they still started building, they started, you know, they're doing logging, they're doing illegal logging. And what happened was the tiger population suffered. So they can suffer. There's also leopards in Thailand. Nobody thinks about this stuff. Of course, there's snakes. There's snakes just about everywhere, and snakes, they always seem to thrive, really, no matter what. So that's something else to think about. Anyway, all right, let me go on here. Increased job opportunities in the tourism and service sectors. The tourism boom would create more jobs in hotels, restaurants, travel agencies, tour companies, and other service-oriented businesses. This could help reduce unemployment and improve living standards for many locals. Let me see something here. I mean, the unemployment rate in Thailand is only about 1.1%. That's pretty good. And so I don't know how much it could help their unemployment. But, you know, nevertheless, more jobs, more money, that's a good thing. Number 8, greater cultural exchange and diversity. There's that word again. An influx of international visitors would foster cultural exchange, promoting understanding and appreciation of different customs and traditions. This diversity can enrich the local culture and lead to a more cosmopolitan society. I think that's already happened. Thailand's already had its westernization. I don't think they want to become full-on Chinese. I don't think they want to become full-on Indian. I don't think they want to switch over, and I think they're happy that with Japanese, Koreans, America, they've got everything they need. So I don't really believe in this. Number 9, possible rise in crime rates and scams targeting tourists. The scams will get more complex, and people are going to have to figure out what they are. When I came, it was just, don't take a tuk-tuk. You take a tuk-tuk, they're going to drive you around. They're going to tell you, oh, it's only 20 baht. And then they're going to beg you for, 200 baht. And then they're getting coupons for gas. And every gem shop they take you, they're going to get a percentage, and that's how it used to be. So I think that the number of scams would increase. The crime rate, I don't know. I don't really know if that would happen. I would think that at least in the tourist areas, the crime rate would go up. Unless they started punishing the Thais more harshly. How can you punish somebody with a 500 baht fine? That doesn't do anything. 500 baht fine? I mean, okay, only the poorest of poor Thais is going to go, oh, that really hurt. A middle-class Thai is going to go 500 baht. Okay, it's nothing to him. A high number of tourists might attract criminals looking to exploit them. Now, what happens here is the Chinese exploit the Chinese, and they try to exploit the Thais. That happens. Petty crimes such as pickpocketing and scams could become more prevalent, necessitating increased vigilance and security measures, which means more police, more tourist police, more foreign tourist police, and you know, I can't see there being more foreign tourist police, say, in some areas of Sukhumvit. I just don't see them putting a bunch more people there. They're not going to have people just standing out there going, oh, okay, well, we're going to look out for, you know, what's going on here. I mean, you know, caught a tuk-tuk at the Royal Palace. His rated were really low. He said that he was taking some floating market that my wife's friend wanted to go. I don't know what you mean. You mean his rating? Or his rates were really low? I mean, I make it a point, I just never take tuk-tuks. I just don't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to get involved with them, because all the tuk-tuk drivers I've ever met in my life, with the exception of a couple in Chiang Mai, they were never fair, and they always tried to rip you off. And I don't mean I've tried one or two. Now, this was a while ago, because I just don't need to take them. And if I want to do something, I'll rent a car or I'll rent a truck. If I got to bring something back and it's huge, I'll have it delivered. I'll take it myself, whatever has to happen. That's the thing. If you pay money, they will deliver for you. So you can have something huge, they'll deliver for you. They'll bring it in, they'll put it in pieces and put it all together for you. That's all you have to do. Which means I don't need a tuk-tuk. I really enjoyed this coffee. That was very, very good. It's called Coffee and Old Fashioned. Excellent. Really good. I'm surprised. So there you go about that. I mean, I don't believe in taking tuk-tuks. Yeah, I mean, I'm never in that kind of a pinch, Daniel. I mean, honestly, good to see you here. He dropped us at a park and tried to set us up with some tour guide. You see, that's the thing. It's always, you want to come to this gem store with me? No, I really don't want. No, just come with me, please, because they give me gas. Yeah. No, not really. Wait, please, please, please. Oh, okay. It only take 5 minutes, and then it takes you 20 minutes. And then they try to take you for some tour, or they try to take you somewhere else. Oh, you go here, I get 50 baht, or, and it's like, no, I don't want to go here. Take me where I want to go. Very simple. Take me to where I want to go. Not where you want to go. Not where you need to go. I don't care where you need to go. You call me an asshole. I don't care where you need to go. I want to go from point A to point B. That's all I ask. You don't have to be my friend. You don't have to be buddy-buddy with me. We don't have to laugh and tell jokes together. We don't have to do any of that. Let me just get in. Sawadee Kap. Sawadee Kap. Boom. Sit there peacefully, relaxed. Go to where I gotta go. Kap kum kap. Boom. Pay the money, get out. Simple as that. Why is that so? Really think about this. This is kind of like, I don't want to say it's wokeness, but it's kind of like you're supposed to be overly nice and be willing to give a certain amount to people just because, they really need it. I understand if you want to give money out of the goodness of your heart. That's a different story. But when you have some tuk-tuk driver or some taxi or something like that, I mean, I got on a motorbike and I said, I want to go to the mall. And I gave him 35 baht. That's what it is. It's 35 baht every time to take me all the way to the mall. I could just go pay 20 baht and have them stop across the street, and I just walk across the street myself. But sometimes I'm just lazy. I don't want to walk. So here's your 35 baht. I had one guy, the guy had the biggest piece of shit motorcycle. And he says to me, "You no tip?" And I just thought to myself, if it was a girl, I would say, "I'll give you a tip. Don't ask me for a tip, because I got a big tip to give you." You know, but since it was a guy, I was like, "What? What did you say?" He said, "Tip for me? Tip, tip?" And I just got on the bike. I said, "No, take me to where I'm going." Well, there are some areas, and actually in Chiang Mai, when I was up there, they were very straightforward, very easy to deal with. There were no problems. But here in Bangkok, and they're dogs. They're just dogs. I mean, you know, most Thai people don't want to take them because they know they're dogs. They want to get as much out of you as you can. When they see that you got white skin, it's, let me see how much I can get out of this guy. I don't want to deal with that. I say 2 words of Thai and you go, "Oh, I'll give him whatever deal, you know, I'm supposed to, whatever's fair." And usually I never have a problem like this. If it's a motorcycle driver, I just give him 100 baht. And I just go, you know, give me my change. I don't know how much the price is, but I have an idea. So if they give me 20 baht and I go, "This is a 20 baht ride. Why is he charging me 80 baht? Then, you know, it's a little bit too much. Okay, David, take it easy. You have a good one. So, you know, all right, let me go on here. I gotta get this done here. Possible rise in crime. It's a need for enhanced security and safety measures. To protect tourists and maintain order, there would be a need for more security personnel. You mean police, surveillance systems, and safety regulations. Oh, God. Safety regulations in Thailand. Fat chance. This could include increased police presence, improved emergency services, and stricter enforcement of laws and regulations. Now, that would be fantastic. But I don't know. The way that they're operating now, I can't see it happening. I get it, Jim. I understand. But what I'm saying is most tuk-tuk drivers are dogs. Here in Bangkok, but like I said, in Chiang Mai, I've never had a problem with them. But here in Bangkok, forget about it. If I was in Pattaya, forget about it. I don't even want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. I'm like, leave me alone. I don't care if it's raining in the middle of the night and I got to walk 10 miles. I don't want to take a tuk-tuk. That's how strongly I feel about it. Because I know some people that have done business with tuk-tuks, and it was such a headache because these guys, you know, they don't care. I want this, I want that. Well, what are you going to give me? Nothing. They're not going to give you anything. You're not getting a deal. They want a deal from you. That's how they operate. Let me charge you 500 baht. Yeah, but it's only around the corner. It's supposed to be 30 baht. Oh no, it'll be very expensive. Tuk-tuk, very expensive. Anyway, my suggestion is don't take a tuk-tuk, especially in Bangkok, unless you can speak some Thai or they speak some English and you know what you're getting yourself into. Potential over-commercialization of cultural sites and traditions. The desire to cater to tourists might lead to the commercialization of cultural sites and traditions, for potentially eroding their authenticity. I think that's already happening. Traditional practices and historical sites could be modified to suit tourist expectations, detracting from their original significance and value. Of course that can happen. It's already started to happen. I don't know that it would, there would be a big change in that. I don't know, but I would think there'd be at least a little bit of a change. And I think it would affect some of these places. I think it depends on where it is. I mean, my mother my wife, our kids, and my sister and her kids all went to, what is it called? Sukkot Palace? Let me see. Oh, Suan Bakat. That's what it is. Suan Bakat. It's the first museum where the owner, the Royal Highnesses Prince and Prince Chumbot of Nagara Svarga, decided to convert their private residence built in the traditional Thai style and opened in 1952, and it's on 6 rai of land on Si Ayutthaya Road in Bangkok. There's a collection of antiques and other items there, 4 traditional houses, well, actually 8 houses. There's 4 traditional Thai houses with a covered hallway between them, and houses 5 to 8 are located along the western side of the property. Now, this kind of a place, I don't know why, I went with my whole family, and there was nobody there. We had a guide with us. I was not allowed to shoot photographs except from the perimeter, outer perimeter of this establishment. I could not take pictures inside to take pictures of all the antiquities, which I didn't, you know, I mean, it would have been nice to take pictures of them, but it, you know, it wasn't like, it would have been difficult to take some great shots of some of the stuff because of the glass and the lighting and all this other stuff. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was really nice that I got to go there, because it's not the kind of place where you're going to spend, you know, 6 hours. You're going to go there, you're going to walk around, you're going to see some cool stuff, and you might be there for 2-3 hours. Now, not a lot of people know about this place, but I bet you if there were 50 million people, a lot more people would be going there, and I don't know that it would harm that particular establishment. It would become more commercialized, but, you know, other than that, the desire to cater to tourists might lead to traditional practices and historical sites could be modified to suit tourist expectations, detracting from their original significance and value. Okay, yes, I understand that. It could happen. All right, number 12, increased pressure on public transportation systems. Public transportation networks, including buses, trains, and ferries, SkyTrain, subway, boat taxis, would face higher demand, potentially leading to overcrowding and reduced service quality. Well, they may need to run more lines. They may need to, you know, you may have to wait for 2 or 3 boats or SkyTrains or whatever. You may have to wait. Public transportation potentially this could necessitate upgrades and expansions to accommodate the increased usage. So you have to think about that. You're going to tell me that's not going to happen? Public transportation isn't going to start to be taxed? I don't mean taxed in the financial sense, but it's going to be more difficult. All right, number 13, potential displacement of local residents due to rising living costs. Now that could very well happen. You know, Bangkok has grown and people migrate outwards. Or, you know, they may start on the outside and it kind of goes inward, but for the most part it goes outwards. And now Bangkok is starting to be larger and larger. The number of people in the area has grown. And imagine you got all these extra tourists coming into the country. Okay, yeah, there's some good points for it. But I think that the prices might start going up and the locals are going to feel, they're going to feel the brunt of, they're going to have to pay more money. That's just the way that it's going to go. Because prices are going to go up. There's going to be more competition. And it's going to drive the price up. I don't see it going any other way. So, be prepared to pay more. And that's the other thing. Some people are already at their breaking point. That's why I did this video the other day, and it was actually demonetized because I said Thailand's at its breaking point. So they viewed that as a negative thing. I'm talking about YouTube. They viewed that as negative about Thailand, and I'm not sure about that. How do I know it's going to be at its breaking point? I don't know it's going to be at its breaking point. It's conjecture. It's an editorial. That's what I meant it as. Nobody's sure that, Thailand's at its breaking point. I don't think it's at its breaking point right now. I think it's getting there, and if they aren't careful, there's going to be some major problems in the near future, or midterm, we'll say. But I do think that the prices are going to go up, and people are going to have to pay for them. I agree with the prices have gone up considerably for hotel rooms. Yes, they have, and what are you going to do about that? And as I had said, from the United States over to here, the price has gone up. I don't know about Australia to here. I think from the UK to here has gone up also. So less people are willing to pay the money to travel farther. I think some people, they'd rather go to Mexico if they're in America. They'd rather go to Costa Rica. They'd rather go to Cuba. They'd rather go to Canada or whatever. Or just in the United States. They'd rather do that. They'd rather spend the money on a local vacation, because for half the money, they'd be able to travel for maybe double the time. Could imagine Phuket prices as they are already crazy expensive. Many things are way more expensive than what I pay back home. Wow. I hear that more and more. And for the past 2 weeks, I put up prices of groceries. I just go to the grocery and buy the groceries, whatever I want. I never go out and buy a bunch of Thai food to make Thai food. I haven't done that in a long time. But I buy eggs. I can make kai geo with eggs. I got eggs and some onion. I got kai geo. Yeah, airfare has jumped considerably, which makes people less likely to spend money on airfare, because they're like, oh, listen, now the airfare is $1,200 to go over there. It used to be $750, $800. They're like, that's an extra $400. An extra $400 might mean 5 days. 5 days locally. Starting to be some people in here, starting to build up. Let's see here. Let me go on here. You think it's nice and quiet? Not me. I don't think that. I definitely don't think that. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background. They always have music playing in the background, like, 4 or 5 different areas are playing music, or at least 2. I can hear 2 or 3 right now. So, I do think that the prices they're definitely going up here. I've heard from numerous people. I think a guy from Germany, 2 weeks in a row, he goes, the prices that you're getting, they're 30% more high than they are in Germany. Now, if I really wanted, I could save a little money going to the market and buying chicken from the market, buying pork from the market. But the quality, you know, my wife goes and gets shrimp from the market. I don't really want to get pork or chicken or beef there because I'm not sure of the quality. I don't know how long they've had that meat. Whereas here, it's refrigerated, they have a fairly high standards. And, you know, I can buy Thai food, I can buy the stuff that, I can make cashew chicken. I can make that stuff, that's fine. You know, sometimes, you know, Alex will buy some noodles, we make the noodles up, you fry them up in the wok, you throw some egg in there, some onion, you know, red onion, whatever, maybe a little bit of pork or whatever, and then you got yourself a meal. All right. Number 14. Greater international visibility and influence for Thailand. Now, I would say Thailand's already visible. I hate to say it. Thailand, in my opinion, has been done to death for Westerners. You look online and you just type in Thailand. You're gonna find all kinds of people. Oh, I've been here for 2 months. Yeah, I've been living there. You know, or I've been here for 5 years. I've got a house. I live here with my wife. Or you get, you know, some guy. Oh, I just got here. I've been here 3 days. Man, this place is great. You know, you get all kinds of people. Everybody and their mother. My mother has been here. My sister's been here. Her kids have been here. Some of my friends have been here. You know, people from the channel, they come all the time. Right now you got Dowlo, you got Jono, you got Billy, you got David H, you got, what's the one guy? You got that Vanico guy. You got all kinds of people, they're always coming. This is not the time of COVID anymore. So I think that the visibility is something that's already taken place. And, okay, yeah, maybe it's going to increase. I don't know. Maybe things will get better. But the bottom line is people already know about Thailand. Yeah, and, you know, this is the other thing. Thailand has been trying to shake the image of Pattaya for a long time. Let me just give them some advice. Okay, and I mean this, you know, as if I was speaking to the Thais who are in charge of Pattaya. I would say, here's what you do. You move the naughty nightlife a little farther away from the area where it is now. You keep it away from schools. You move it away. You have one little section that is the naughty nightlife. That's it. You cut it down. If you've got 500 bars now, you cut it down to 50 bars. The rest of the areas, you make nice, you make neat, you make attractions that people want to come and see. And you can say, oh, we've got, what's the name of it? The statue, what is it? The something of truth. I forget the name of it. The statuary, no, not the statuary. What is it? Sanctuary of Truth. You know, you've got Ripley's Wax Museum. Woo! You know, I mean, you got a lot of little things that people could go and do. They want to go to Koh Lan, they can go there. You know, it really depends. But there are things to do. Now, would I go there? No. Well, it's not so much the beach, although the beach is pretty shitty, and I don't like the fact that if you want to sit on the beach, you know, you've got to pay for a chair. I don't like that. But okay, I understand, you know, whatever, that's not a big deal. But the water, I don't want to go swimming there. That's just me. I don't want to go swimming in Pattaya. There's no way. I don't want to go swimming there. I don't know how much sewage is out in that water. I don't trust it. And that, you know, again, that is me. I don't trust it because I'm like, I was in Cambodia once. I went over to the Tonle Sap River. I'm standing there on the side of the river. I look over and there's a big tube, big, you know, PVC pipe about that wide. And all of a sudden water started coming out and I could see the shit coming out, going into the Tonle Sap where they catch fish and some people go swimming. And I was like, Now, I'm not saying that's what they do in Pattaya. But guess what? I don't know that it doesn't happen. All right, now, yeah, debris. We'll call it debris. Now, here's the thing. Predicting whether Thailand will ever reach 50 million tourists in the near future depends on several factors, and that includes the global travel trends, economic conditions, and really just the country's ability to attract and accommodate a large number of visitors. So here are a couple of considerations. There you go. Dead critters. Number one, global travel trends. Post-pandemic recovery and international travel. As international travel rebounds from the COVID-19 pandemic, Thailand may see an increase in tourists. However, the speed and extent of recovery can be unpredictable. All right, so far it's going pretty well. Trends in travel preferences. This is a big one. Shifts in travel preferences, such as a growing interest in sustainable tourism or off-the-beaten-path destinations, could influence Thailand's tourism numbers. Now, I'm always looking for off-the-beaten-path destinations. I know some that I have not been to yet, and generally, you know, it's going to cost me a little bit of money to go there. You know, I mean, I might spend $1,000 when I'm there just for a 3-4 day trip. I don't know. But I would say that is the way to go. And trends are always changing. That's why now you have Indians and Chinese. Before it was Russians. And before that it was some Chinese, but Malaysians, and it's also Westerners. Now, not as many Westerners are coming. And you don't see the Thai government crying, going, oh, come on, all you Brits, all you Americans, come to Thailand, live here, move here, visit here. They're not saying that. Economic conditions, economic stability and growth in key source countries, economic health in countries that typically supply tourists to Thailand, China, Japan, Europe, the United States, Australia, will impact travel affordability and frequency. And this is why I don't think as many people from Europe, maybe less from Australia and also from the United States, definitely. I think that the cost of travel has gone up, and so people don't always want to spend that kind of money. And I'll be honest, I don't want to travel as much. It doesn't matter to me that much. I don't really care, you know. Because it better be something good if I'm going to do it. You know, like I may go to Vietnam in October because of a film festival. Because my buddy will be there. I don't get to see him very often. So I would like to go there, and it's not that expensive. Okay, boom, there's a place. But if he doesn't go, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go alone, you know. Okay, also the exchange rates. Favorable exchange rates can make Thailand more attractive to international visitors by making it more affordable. Yeah, I don't know how that's doing, but yeah, as far as the U.S. dollar goes, it's okay. I can't complain. Thailand's tourism strategies, marketing and promotion, effective tourism campaigns and marketing strategies can attract more visitors, definitely. But I haven't seen anything after Amazing Thailand. I haven't seen any great marketing plans. And if I have, I don't remember them, so that tells you something. Infrastructure and services, investments in infrastructure such as expanding airports, improving transportation networks, and increasing accommodation capacity are essential to support a high number of tourists, and I do see this. I do see a better infrastructure. Policies and incentives. Government policies, including visa regulations and tourism incentives, play a crucial role in attracting tourists. And you do see this as well, although it can be a little bit confusing for some people when it comes to living here, and some things can be a bit confusing, but you know what? It's confusing everywhere. There's a lot of places where it's a bit confusing. They make it a little more difficult. You know, there's some leeway built in. But okay, they have done some things. They've increased the number of countries that could come here without a visa. They've made it easier for places. External factors such as geopolitical stability, political stability within Thailand and in neighboring regions is crucial for tourism growth. We're going to see on August 14th what's going to happen to the Prime Minister here. I have no idea which way it's going to go. I'm not that deep into it, but they're going to vote on whether they want him out. And what that means is Anutin could be the next Prime Minister. That's good for weed, but everything else I don't know. Natural disasters and climate change. Events such as floods, droughts, and other natural disasters can significantly impact tourism numbers. Well, that's true. And if they had something like another tsunami, that would not be good for Thailand. Health and safety concerns, epidemics, pandemics, and other health crises can deter travel. Let's hope that that never happens again. There's never another pandemic like what happened with COVID. I don't want to ever see that in my life again. Thailand has been a popular tourist destination for decades, and it has the potential to reach 50 million if all of these factors align favorably. Achieving this number would require some strategic planning, which I think they're doing, and sustained efforts from both the government and private sector to address potential challenges and maximize opportunities. The likelihood, now this is from ChatGPT. The likelihood is, it's difficult to figure out, but it's apparently about 60 to 70% that it will happen in the next 10 years. 2019, Thailand welcomed nearly 40 million international tourists. COVID caused a significant drop in tourism numbers, but recovery is underway and it's going fairly well. Travel is rebounding, and Thailand is still a favored destination. Now, will it fall out of favor? Who knows? In another 5 years, 10 years, I mean, I'm sure there will be people coming here. But will there still be as many coming as in the past? The Chinese could affect this, the Indians can affect this. Okay, infrastructure improvements. They need to continue improving their infrastructure. Nobody talks about the internet here, but the internet is generally very, very good. And they need to continue on that path. It's in the top 10 in the world, so that's good. Based on pre-pandemic growth rate and recovery trajectory, reaching 50 million tourists could be feasible within the next decade, assuming no major disruptions. Like I said, the percentage is 60 to 70%, which is moderate to high, and well, it's not guaranteed. The odds are somewhat favorable if the current positive trends continue and Thailand successfully addresses the potential challenges that it faces. So, there you go. That's my take on it. 50 million. Heard many Olympians got real sick swimming the triathlon in France today. I didn't hear that. I'm not really following the Olympics other than did the Thai fighter win? No, she lost. Okay. And I know nothing other than that, other than I saw some badminton guy won a silver medal, and I have not watched the Olympics other than that. Thailand has an opportunity to have a good manufacturing industry, but they don't appreciate foreign investors. A friend of mine wants to move his factories out of China. Thailand doesn't want him. Thailand don't want him. Well, I don't know why they don't want him. If China wants him, and China, I wish Bruce was here, but China is not a place where I'd want to do business. I mean, I don't really want to do business anywhere now. I don't want to do business anywhere now. But China is one of my least favorite places. Oh, you're awake. Are you still in your underwear? You know, if they don't want them, they don't want them. 4 ties here to fix the AC. Well, you could have one that doesn't know what he's doing. Now you got 4. There's a greater chance that one of them will know what they're doing. I'm sure there's one boss, and then there's the 3 little workers that help. I've had my air conditioner worked on several times, many times actually. And actually, as I said, our electric bill was down this month. It was down about 300 baht, 400 baht. So there you have it. The impact of 50 million tourists. 50 million tourists. That's a lot when you think about it. Now, let me see something here. Applications. Oh, do I have it? Yeah. 50 million divided by 365 equals. Oh, it's 136,986 per day. That's huge, man. That's huge when you think about it. They better get their act together now so that they're ready in 5 years. Really, they should be ready within 5 years. Supposedly, it's going to happen within the next 10 years. The odds are pretty good. Yeah, you know, every guy that I have come out to my place, they tend to be, you know, they might be in flip-flops, but they tend to be really good. With the air conditioner, they're really good. Anything electric, they're good. Electric, air, plumbing, they're really good. Now, with the roof, that was a little bit different. You know, the guy supposedly fixed it, and, like, you know, the next day it's raining and it was leaking. I was like, what's going on here? So I had to call him back, and then he fixed it. So, well, you know what? All you can hope for is you turn your back. When you turn around, the job is done. They've done a good job. Everything works. And that's it. You know. All you can hope for is that they fix it. And if they don't fix it, that your landlord puts in the new air conditioner. Anyway, so there you have it. 50 mil, baby. And, you know, I don't know how this is going to affect me. Is it really going to affect people? I mean, you know, 50 million is a big increase from, say, 35, 35, even 40. It's a huge increase. Is it going to affect me not living in a tourist area? Is it going to make me go, ugh, I don't want to live here anymore? I got to get out of here. Maybe. I don't know. I'm always thinking about, could I live somewhere else? Where should I live? But as I said about the taxes, if I am supposedly going to pay taxes here, does that mean that I can become a permanent resident here? Because that's huge for me. It's a massive problem for me, because I would love to become a permanent resident here so I don't have to think about anything. Yeah, 2 air conditioners is better than 1. All right, so do me a favor. Once again, smash the like button if you have not done so already. Smash the like button. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Check out the description. Check me out on social media. Whatever you want to do. Go down there in the description. Check it out. And yeah, I appreciate you guys coming in, chatting with me. Thank you very much. Nice conversation today. I know it's just conjecture, but for me, you know, I mean, I'm sitting around and I'm thinking, what would happen if you hit 50 mil? What's going to happen? So I started looking into it. And Thailand has their hands full. They're going to need to do a few things to be able to get ready for it if it does indeed happen. And supposedly it's going to happen. There's like a 70% chance it's going to happen within 10 years. And honestly, I think it'll happen within 5 years. Okay, Jim, you take her easy, take her sleazy, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. Appreciate everybody coming in, and I guess that's it. 2/4 Korean. Thanks for coming in your underwear. Hopefully you get your air conditioner squared away. That would be good. Dale, everybody else here, Daniel, take care, Choke D, and all that good stuff. And I will talk to you guys later. Probably not tomorrow. All right? Okay, thumbs up, thumbs up. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Choke D, Lel Juk and mine. Good luck and see you later.